Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Haribo. We'll start. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunnmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shriuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savudhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. I welcome you all for today's session. So we are now studying from text 4 from 9th chapter. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेषु अवस्थितः. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Yes, somebody can read.
Hare Krishna. A purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyah seven mukhe hi jivhado swayameva spuratyadaha. Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita 538, it is stated, Premanjanachurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda always within himself and outside himself if one has developed a transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. There here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word avyakta murtina. But actually, we although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior material energy and superior spiritual energy and inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is uh, which is which is but the manifestation of king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and such departments a department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. This is the crude example. Similarly, all the manifestation that we see and everything that exists, both in material world and in spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vishtam Vishtha Vishtabhyaham idam Krishnam. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies.
So now there is this new section is starting from verse number 4 to 10 about the Aishwarya Gyan of Supreme Personality Godhead. How Krishna is manifesting himself in this world. What is the relation of this world with the Lord? So in this world, Lord is telling that he is supporting and pervading the entire universe. Like in last chapter, he told, I am the thread in the pearl. Like that, these worlds are resting upon me. Although Lord is not visible, but this world is running because of his presence only. So how Prabhupada is telling that how we can perceive Supreme Lord. So Lord is here Prabhupada is telling by Atha Sri Krishna Namadi. If we take to the practice of devotion service under the proper guidance, then we will have that vision to perceive the presence of Lord in this world. So Prabhupada gave another example from Brahmaseta, Praimanjana Churit Bhakti Vilochena. The people whose eyes are anointed with love, they can perceive Krishna's hand in this world. They can remember Krishna in this very world. Like we take our car when it breaks down to mechanic. So when he opens the bonnet, he sees what's the problem. Although we are also seeing, but we are not able to make out anything. But when this person sees, the mechanic sees, he knows what is the problem, where it is. So our eyes and his eyes are same. But what's the problem? He has a knowledge and we don't have. We are ignorant. So same way, like somebody knows one particular language. Suppose we know Hindi. And now Tamil book is brought in front of us. And we open that book. We cannot make out anything. You know. But if Tamil person, somebody knows Tamil, when we open book in front of him, he can understand. He can dictate us what is written there. So same way, Lord's presence is there in this world, which is avyakta for the non-devotees. They are not able to perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord in this world. But devotees, when their eyes are anointed with love, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochena, they can see the form of the Lord. So, if we cannot see the Lord in Avyakta form, at least we should see the form in his Murti form. The deity which we established by Acharyas, at least we should perceive that form as a Supreme Lord. But for materialistic person, that form also is hidden to their eyes. They think this is made of stone and all that. So that's the thing, Although Lord is right away available for everyone to perceive, but due to ignorance, people and hatred, people are not able to perceive His presence. But devotees, they perceive Supreme Lord by having the eyes anointed with the love and devotion. न च मत्सानि भूतानि पश्चिमे योगमेश्वरं भूतभुन्न च भूतस्थो ममात्मा भूतभावना. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The Lord says that everything is resting on me. Matani Sarvani Bhutani. This should not be misunderstood. The Lord is not directly concerned with the maintenance and sustenance of this material manifestation. Sometimes we see a picture of Atlas holding the globe on his shoulders. He seems to be very tired holding this great earth planet. Such an image should not be entertained in connection with Krishna's upholding this created universe. He says that although everything is resting on me, he is aloof. The planetary systems are floating in space, and this space is the energy of the Supreme Lord. But he is different from space. He is differently situated. Therefore, the Lord says, although they are situated on my inconceivable energy as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am aloof from them. This is the inconceivable opulence of the Lord. In the Nirukti Vedic dictionary, it is said, Yujyaite Nena Durghateshu Karyeshu. The Supreme Lord is performing inconceivably wonderful pastimes, displaying his energy. His person is full of different potent energies, and his determination is itself actual fact. In this way, the personality of Godhead is to be understood. We may think of doing something, but there are so many impediments, and sometimes it is not possible to do as we like. But when Krishna wants to do something, simply by his willing, everything is performed so perfectly that one cannot imagine how it is being done. The Lord explained this fact. Although he is the maintainer and sustainer of the entire material manifestation, he does not touch this material manifestation. Simply by this supreme will, everything is created, everything is sustained, everything is maintained, and everything is annihilated. Therefore, there is no difference between his mind and himself, as there is a difference between ourselves and our present material mind, because he is absolute spirit. Simultaneously, the Lord is present in everything, yet the common man cannot understand how he is also present personally. He is different from this material manifestation, yet everything is resting on him. This is explained here as Yogam Aishwaryam, the mystic power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So for us to maintain something, it takes away our lot of energy. And our mind is get divided by having those things to maintain them. But that is not true with the Supreme Lord. Like a Prime Minister of India, he doesn't go to every village to take care of the villagers. He is running the entire state or entire nation by his energies administration, where there are different people are appointed and they are taking care of the dependents. So Lord is already taking care of everyone by his energies. And that energy belongs to Krishna, that we should understand. But he is not under the energies. He is above the energies. But we are under energy. So Supreme Lord doesn't have to take care of personally. for all living entities. He hands over that responsibility to Maya. Those who are in this material world, they are handed over to Maya. But for his devotees, he personally takes care of them. Because his devotees have taken shelter of his lotus feet and they have crossed the material nature, Maya, and they are now under the direct shelter of Supreme Lord. So Lord is telling here, without my intervention, this material world is running by my external energies. So he gives example. यथा कास्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र वो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मस्तानि उपधारय. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
Isha Mataji or Amit Raj, you can please read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat. For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand the sky may be the bigger manifestation we can conceive. And in that sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation of in the cosmic world. The movement in the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate that supreme. Prabhuji, can you scroll?
Yeah.
That supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, everything is moving under His will. By His will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, He is aloof from everything. As the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. In the Upanishad, it is stated, Itasya va akrishasya प्रशासने गार्गी सूर्य चंद्रमनासो मनाव चंद्रमसौ विध्रो तिष्ठता एतस्या वा अक्रशव्या प्रशासने गार्गी द्वौ अपृहित्वौ विध्रो तिष्ठता. But the supreme order under the super intendance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and the other great planets are moving. In the Brahma Samhita, it is also stated. Prabhuji, do you want to read or? Yachakshur Esha Savita Sakala Grahanan Grahanam Raja
सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेष तेजा यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संहृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं
Aham Bhajami. Thank you, Prabhuji. This is the description of the movement of the sun. It is said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord and that it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in its prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So, from the Vedic literature, we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the later verses of this chapter. Hare Krishna.
So in this word, Yoga Ishwaryam is explained. After explaining that all beings rest in Him, Lord says the opposite, that they do not rest in Him. This contradictory language is meant to show that He is personally aloof from the working of the universe and that such functions are carried out by His energy. So that's why He has given example that how sky holds the wind, but He is not a wind, He is holding the wind. So same way, His energies, they are taking care of the living entities. He doesn't have to come down to maintain each and every living entity by his personal intervention, but he just hands over that power to his energies. So different energies of the Lord, they take care of different aspects of living entities, like sun and moon. Sun lights the universe in daytime, and moon lights in the night time. Moon gives the nourishment to plants, and that way the every living entity is taken care by the Lord's creation. So this way Lord is maintaining everyone. Without His mercy, if sun doesn't rise one day, then everything will collapse. Ocean, if ocean leave their boundary, then everything will be submerged. If wind stops flowing, then nobody can breathe. But all these energies are under the control of Supreme Lord. They work exactly the way He wants. And that way the Lord is taking care of every living entity. So this is Lord's power, potency. So now, in text number 7. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पदो विसृज्याम्यहम्. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all the material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Sorry.
Mata.
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. The creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead. And the end of the millennium means at the death of Brahma, Brahma lives for 100 years, and his one day is calculated at for
430 crores.
430 crores of our earthly
430
lakhs
430 crores.
of our earthly years. His night is of the same duration. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his year of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in Himself. Then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by His will. Bahushyama. Although I am one, I shall become many. This is the Vedic aphorism. Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.3. He expands himself in this material energy, and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Like an expert businessman, if he opens a factory in one city, and again he wants to manifest that company, that he wants to shift that to some other city. So the whole everything will be closed down, everything will be removed, and that will be carried forward, and next city it will be again installed, and again it will manifest there. So like that, if ordinary man can create and wind up and again set up some other place, so what is the difficulty for Supreme Lord? So every breathing of Mahavishnu, these all living entities, they come out in the form of egg. And again, Lord Brahma creates entire 14 planetary system in the navel. From the stem, the lotus comes out from the navel of the Lord, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. He creates the entire creation in that. And as Brahma's day gets over, then again the partial annihilation takes place. When he sleeps, when he wakes up, then at the end of his life, the total annihilation takes place. And when Mahavishnu breathes, then everything is annihilated. Everything goes in the body of Mahavishnu. So that way, this creation is happening day by day. So 1 day of human being, 6 months of human being is 12 hours of demigods. And their 12 hours, again, our 6 months is their night. So Uttara and Dakshina we call it. So they take day and night of demigods. So like that, in our day also, like some mosquitoes, they take birth and they die by the time we sleep. So in our 1 day, there are many living entities take birth and die also. So if many living entities are taking birth and dying in our 1 day, so what's the difficulty for demigods? In their day and night, so many living entities come and die. So like that, this way, Brahma's life is the longest life. And this longest life of Brahma is 1 breath of Mahavishnu. Just he is naturally breathing, like we also breathe in a day so many times, but we don't know only when we breathe. We don't count our breathing also. So like that, Lord is totally aloof from this creation annihilation. So that way, every time the creation is happening, annihilation is happening, manifesting, it's staying for some time. Again, it is, winded up. Like that, it is going on. So that's the beauty of Krishna's creation. It is naturally maintained by the Lord. He doesn't have to get exhausted. So that is Supreme Proprietor. He has that power. प्रकृतिं सामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामिवं कृत्सन् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात्. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
Rahul Prabhu or Dipakshi Mataji, any one of you can, if possible. Okay, Dayamai Mataji, will you be able to read?
Okay, Guruji. This material world is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has already been explained several times. At the creation, the material energy is let loose as the Mahat Tattva, into which the Lord has, as his first Purusha incarnation, Mahavishnu enters. He lies within the causal ocean and breathes out innumerable universes. And into each universe, the Lord again enters as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Each universe is in that way created. He still further manifests himself as Shirodaksha Vishnu, and that Vishnu enters into everything, even into the minute atom. This fact is explained here. He enters into everything. Now, as far as the living entities are concerned, they are impregnated into this material nature, and as a result of this, their past deeds, they take different positions. Thus, the activities of this material world begin. The activities of the different species of living beings are big, are begun from the very moment of the creation. It is not that all is evolved. The different species of life are created immediately along with this process. Sorry. Immediately along with the universe. Men, animals, beasts, birds, everything is simultaneously created because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. It is clearly indicated here by the word avasama that the living entities have nothing to do with this process. The state of being in their past life, in the past creation, is simply manifested again. And all this is done simply by His will. This is the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after creating different species of life, He has no connection with them. The creation takes place to accommodate the inclination of the various living entities, and so the Lord does not become involved with it. Saranandana. Hare Krishna.
Document of creation. So, is it visible to all of you? Hariva?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
So this is Lord Krishna. Okay. From him, the first expansion is Balram. And this expands into Sadashiv. And another expansion happens about Sankarshan, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. These other manifestations of Supreme Lord happens. And from here comes Mahavishnu from Sankarshan. So this Mahavishnu, from here it begins the creation of material world. Till Mahavishnu, Virja river, everything is that side. There are many Vaikunthas, many planets, and all that creation. That is 3/4 creation is of Supreme, that is spiritual. 1/4 creation is material world. Okay. So from him, Mahavishnu, each universe takes place. One. There are many from his pores of his bodies. Many Brahmandas they come out. And in each Brahmanda there is a Garbhodakshi Vishnu. When he sweats, then this egg gets filled with half water. And there he is lying on the Anushesh. And from his navel comes one lotus. And on that lotus, Lord Brahma takes birth. The first living entity, that is Brahma, is born. And from Brahma, there are many other living entities take birth. And every living entity and Brahma, Lord Shridaksha Vishnu enters. So till Shridaksha Vishnu, it's called as a primary creation. And whatever is Brahma is creating, this is called as a secondary creation. So this is lifespan is given, of creation. So there is one more document is there. I will share.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I missed the part that you mentioned 75% spiritual world, 25% material. Can you elaborate that again? Sorry.
It is called Ekpad Vibhuti. This material world is called as 1/4 creation. So whatever Lord's creation is there, in that 1/4 is material creation. And Tripad is 3/4 is spiritual world.
Okay.
Okay. So we think that devotees are less in this world. But actually speaking, in this material world also there are many devotees. And 3/4 world is filled with only devotees. So Lord has many devotees. Non-devotees are very less. So this is a creation. How universe population takes place. So from Brahma, Shiva takes birth, then demigods, Daksha, Marichi, other things. So in a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus take birth. Their names also given here. And 8.4 million species are created. So in that 4,000 are human species, 3 lakh are 4 lakh are human species, 30 lakhs are beasts, 10 lakhs are birds, 9 lakhs are aquatics, 11 lakhs are insects, and 20 lakhs are plants. So this is the expansion. I'll share both documents to a group. Okay. So Lord is creating so much, but still he's enjoying with his devotees in spiritual world. So this is done by, on its own. This creation takes place, and that is inconceivable. The potency which Lord has. Nachamam tani karmani nibadanti dhananjaya udasin avadasin asaktam teshu karmasu. But Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral.
Hare Krishna. Purport. One should not think in this connection that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no engagement. In this spiritual world, he is always engaged. In the Brahma Samhita 5.6, it is stated, Atma Ramasya tasyasti prakriti na samagama. He is always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with these material activities. Material activities are being carried on by his different potency. The Lord is always neutral in material activities of the created world. This neutrality is mentioned here with the word Udasina Vata. Although he has control over every minute detail of material activity, he is sitting as if neutral. The example can be given of a high court judge sitting on his bench. By his order, so many things are happening. Someone is being hanged, someone is being put into jail, someone is awarded a huge amount of wealth, but he still is neutral. But still, he is neutral. He has nothing to do with all that gain and loss. Similarly, the Lord is always neutral, although he has his hand in every sphere of activity. In the Vedanta Sutra 2.1.34, it is stated, Vaishamya Naigrihana Na. He is not situated in the dualities of this material world. He is transcendental to these dualities, nor is he attached to the creation and annihilation of this material world. The living entities take their different form in various species of life according to their past deeds, and the Lord doesn't interfere with them.
Like any president of country, he doesn't have to go to the prison house to see whether the prisoners are fed or not, whether they are getting food to eat, whether they are getting water to drink. He doesn't have to worry about. If ordinary president has such a free time that he doesn't have to go down to worry about prisoners, then why Supreme Lord has to worry about the people who have left him and they are rotting in this material world? That Lord has to personally come down to take care of them. No, they are taken care by his various energies. But still, on the request of his devotees, Lord comes down. Otherwise, he is just happy with on his own. He doesn't depend upon anybody. Ayadhikshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanina kunteya jagat viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Purport. It is clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, remains the Supreme Director. The Supreme Lord is the supreme will and the background of his material manifestation, but the management is being conducted by material nature. Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita that of all the living entities in different forms and species, I am the father. The father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child, and similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his mere glance, injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born under the glance of the Supreme Lord, take their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature. Material nature is thus activated and everything is created immediately because he glances over material nature. There is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of the material world directly. This example is given in the Smriti when there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his glance and ordinance. In summary, material nature without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot do anything. Yet the Supreme Personality is detached from all the material activities. Hare Krishna.
It is sanctioned by him in this world. Without his sanction, nothing can happen. But after sanctioning, how to it go, how to make it run, that is handed over to the material nature. So this secondary creation, whatever Brahmaji is creating, that he is arranging how to make the arrangements by through various demigods and all that, various departments, how to supply air to living entities, how to supply them light, sunlight, how to supply them energies. This way, this is everything is handed over down to the material nature about facilitating, us. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Thank you for the elaborate explanation. Now, I would like to ask a question. What is the meaning of the word supreme? What is the meaning of supreme? What is the meaning of supreme?
Yoji, so here Prabhupada says that Mahavishnu glanced over, so that is a form of act. So is it the same for the a localized Vishnu who is in this universe as well? He is also aloof from all the activities.
Yes, yes. The Lord, see, Brahma is creating. The more superior one is, the down, they will be aloof from the things. You know, like in a company, director, he just controls the whom he controls the managers, and managers they control down to the supervisors, and supervisors they control the laborers. Director doesn't control directly to the laborers, you know. So same way, this is handed over down to every universe has one Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So Mahavishnu is aloof. Once he glances on the this whatever Brahmandas come out, then Mahavishnu, he out of his perspiration he feels the water, and the navel comes out. Then he glances on Brahma. Brahma does tapasya, and then Brahmaji starts creating the living entities. And in that living entities, without Paramatma, living entity also doesn't know what to do, what not to do. So Paramatma guiding everybody in our heart. But that Lord is not forcing us to do particular thing. They are that even Shirodashi Vishnu, who is in the heart of every living entity, he just drashta anumanta, he just sees, and whatever is there, he sanctions. So like that, our karmas, we are only responsible, not the Supreme Lord. Neither Supreme Lord is forcing us to suffer, neither he is forcing us to enjoy. It's we create our own karmas, and accordingly we enjoy or we suffer. But these karmas can be destroyed by devotional service. So devotional service is only thing which can cut the karmas. Karmani nidahantu cha bhakti bhaja. So bhakti is the activity which will cut our relation with the material world. Otherwise, any good activity also has a binding, and sinful activity also has a punishment. Like somebody gives donation, somebody gives money to some person. So what he is doing? He is doing pious activity. So pious activity also has to be awarded. He has to take birth to get the award of that pious activity. And if somebody steals somebody's money, then he has done sinful activity and he will be punished. So for that punishment, he will get another body, or in this body he will get punishment. So like that, every activity, pious or impious, the karma is done by the living entity only. The Lord from Mahavishnu to Sridaksha Vishnu, they are just facilitating us to do whatever we want. But when we do bhakti, then we come under the internal potency of the Lord. And Lord has told in Gita, what he told? Mameva prapadyante mayam etam tarantati. As soon as we take shelter of Supreme Lord, then we are in exit path. We are on exit path. Like in company, somebody is on notice period. He is not elated or he is morosed. If company is going loss, he will not get morose because he knows anyway he has to leave. And companies get it, he doesn't get excited because he knows that he is not belong to the company. So like that, the devotees of the Lord, they are in this world, but they are not of this world. They have understood they are the servants of Krishna, and that way their activities they perform just to please Krishna. And the activities which we do for pleasing Krishna are not binding to this material world. That is totally spiritual. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So I am sharing one more document which I got. Time structure of universe. Okay, I'll expand it. Somebody can read this.
Our universe is the smallest with a diameter of 4 billion miles and lifespan of 311.040 trillion years. And this is the time that passes on planet Earth when Mahavishnu, a mere expansion of Lord Krishna, inhales or exhales just once. When Mahavishnu exhales, millions of universes come out from the pores on his gigantic body, and when he inhales, all the universes go back into his body. This is how great Lord Krishna, God is. God is not unknown or invisible force. Lord Krishna is the greatest person who is completely known and seen by those who are qualified. Whole thing, Praji. There are cycles of creation and inhalation, each of 311.04 trillion years duration. And in the current cycle, our universe has existed for 155.52197 trillion years. And we still have another 155.51803 trillion years to go before the end of the universe. And the current cycle, the current cycle, the lifespan of the universe is directly related to the life of a person called Brahma. He is the first living being in the universe, created by Lord Krishna, God. Brahma lives for 100 of his years, called a Mahakalpa, and his 1 day, 12 hours, is called a Kalpa, which is 4.32 billion years in duration. Thus, his 100 years is 311.040 trillion years on planet Earth. Current age of Lord Brahma is 50 years, and he is now 5 hours, 28 minutes and 49 seconds into the first day of his 51st year. 1 day of Brahma, 12 hours, is divided into 14 parts called Manvantaras. There is partial creation at the start of a new Manvantara, and there is a partial inhalation at the end of each Manvantara. Between each Manvantara, there is a juncture Sandhya of 1.728 million years, and within each Manvantara, there is a different Manu, the first human within each Manvantara. There are 71 Chaturyugas, each of 4.32 million years duration in each Manvantara. The duration of each Manvantara, or 71 Chaturyugas, is 306.72 million years. Within each Chaturyuga, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, 1.728 million years; Treta Yuga, 1.296 million years; Dwapar Yuga, 864,000 years; and Kali Yuga, 432,000 years. We are 120.533 million years into the current Manvantara, and this is also the age of current Manu Vaivasvat. We are currently 5,000 years into the Kali Yuga of the 28th Chatur Yuga of the 7th Manvantara in the first day of Brahma of his 51st year. This detailed structural timing knowledge of the universe of the past and future can only come from God and proves that Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion, is religion established by the greatest eternal person, God, Lord Shri Krishna. The whole cosmic order is under me, under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is inhalated at the end.
Okay, so this is a time chart. Satyuga is this much time. Treta Yuga is the Kali Yuga is like that. In one Kali Yuga, there are 71. In one day of Brahma, there are 71 Chaturyugas. And every one Chaturyuga has 4 yugas. These are the 4 yugas. And this is one day of Brahma. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantaras. So every Manvantar has 14 Manus. Every day of Brahma has 14 Manus. And every Manu has 71 Chaturyugas in his lifetime. So like that, this is a calculations are there. So this is a time chart. Okay. This is Satyayug, Tretayug. Then Dwapar Yuga and this is Kali Yuga. Okay. Then above that is these are 71 Chaturyugas of 14 Manus. So we are at 7th Manu today. You know? And every Manvantar has in day of Brahma, in one day of Brahma, and Brahma lives like, the Mahakalpa. Such a big life he has. Okay, so I will share this also with you. So basically, nobody is speculating anything. Everything is written down and everything has a calculation. So this is very vast for us to understand. Next. Avjananti mamudha manushim tanumashta param bhava avjananto mam bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be.
Krishna. Prabhuji, you're not sharing the screen where the text
Okay,
is.
okay.
Rajanand Krishna Prabhu, if you are able to read, can you please do it?
Yes, Prabhuji. From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The personality of Godhead, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilations of the complete cosmic manifestation, cannot be human being. Yet there be many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely powerful man and nothing more. Actually, he is original Supreme Personality, as it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord. There are many Ishvaras, controllers, and one appears greater than another. In the ordinary management of affairs in the material world, we find some official or director, and above him there is a secretary, and above him a minister, and above him a president. Each of them is a controller, but one is controlled by another. In Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is a supreme controller. There are many controllers, undoubtedly, both in the material and spiritual world, but Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, and his body is Satchit Ananda, non-material. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in previous verses. His body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Although he is not a common man, the foolish deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called as Manusim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna, a politician involved in battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways, he is acting just like ordinary man, but actually his body is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, eternal bliss and knowledge absolute. This is confirmed in the Vedic language also, Satchit Ananda Rupaya Krishnaya. I offer my obeisances unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the eternal blissful form of knowledge. Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.1. There are other descriptions in the Vedic languages also. Tam Ekam Govinda, you are Govinda, the pleasure of the senses and the cows. Satchid Ananda Vigraha, and your form is a transcendental, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.35. Despite the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna's body, its full bliss and knowledge, there are many so-called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who derive Krishna as an ordinary man. The scholar may be born an extraordinary man due to his previous good work, but this conception of Sri Krishna is due to poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, he is called Mudha, for only foolish persons consider Krishna to be ordinary human being. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Nor do they know that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of his internal energy. He is a master of the material energy, as has been explained in several places, Mama Maya Durattaya. He claims that the material energy, although very powerful, is under his control, and whoever surrenders unto him can get out of control of his material energy. If a soul surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the whole cosmic nature, have the material body like us? So this conception of Krishna is a complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead Krishna, appearing just like ordinary man, can be controller of all the atoms and of the gigantic manifestations of the universal form. The biggest and the minute are beyond their conception. So they cannot imagine that a form like that of human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. It is clearly stated concerning his Yogam Aishwaram, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the infinite and the finite, those who are pure devotee accept this, for they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord. There are many controversies between the impersonalists and the personalists about the Lord's appearance as a human being. But if we consult Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the authoritative text for understanding the science of Krishna, then we can understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary man. Although he appeared on this earth as an ordinary human in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, when the sages headed by Shaunaka inquired about the activities of Krishna, they said, Pratam kila karmani saha ramena keshava atimatyani bhagavan gura kapata manushaha. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balram, played like a human being, and so must he performed many superhuman acts. Bhagavad Gita 1.1.20. The Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. No human being could perform the wonderful acts that Krishna performed while he was present on this earth. When Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared with 4 hands. But after the prayers of the parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child. As stated in the Bhagavatam 10.3.46, Babhuva Prakritaha Sisuha. He became just like ordinary child, an ordinary human being. Now, here again it is indicated that the Lord's appearance as an ordinary human being is one of the features of his transcendental body. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also it is stated that Arjuna prayed to see Krishna's form of 4 hands, Taneva Rupena Chaturbhujena. After revealing this form, Krishna, when petitioned by Arjuna, again assumed his original human-like form, Manusham Rupam. These different features of the Supreme Lord are certainly not those of ordinary human beings. Some of those who deride Krishna and who are infected with the Mayavadi philosophy quote the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.21 to prove that Krishna is just an ordinary man. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vastitah sada. The Supreme is present in every living entity. We should better take a note of this particular verse from the Vaishnava Acharyas like Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, instead of following the interpretations of unauthorized persons who deride Krishna. Jiva Goswami, commenting on this verse, says that Krishna, in his plenary expansions as Paramatma, is situated in the moving and non-moving entities as the super soul. So any neophyte devotee who simply gives his attention to the Archamurti, the form of the Supreme Lord in the temple, and does not respect other living entities, is uselessly worshipping the form of the Lord in the temple. There are 3 kinds of devotees of the Lord, and the neophyte is in the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity within the temple than to other devotees. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur warns that this sort of mentality should be corrected. Our devotee should see that because Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, everybody is the embodiment or the temple of the Supreme Lord. So, as one offers respect to the temple of the Lord, we should similarly properly respect each and everybody in which the Paramatma dwells. Everyone should therefore be given proper respect and should not be neglected. There are also many impersonalists who deride temple worship. They say that since God is everywhere, why should one restrict himself to temple worship? But if God is everywhere, he is not in the temple or in the deity. Although the personalist and impersonalist will fight with one another perpetually, a perfect devotee in Krishna consciousness knows that although Krishna is the Supreme Personality, he is all pervading. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, although his personal abode is Golok Vrindavan and he is always staying there, by his different manifestations of energy and by his plenary expansions, he is present everywhere in all parts of the material and spiritual creation. Hare Krishna.
So for foolish people, Lord appears as an ordinary human being. Like when they read Krishna's pastimes, so they choose the pastime which they want to imitate. Like Krishna did Rasa dance. Krishna married so many girls. So these pastimes they want to imitate. And when people object that if they do such things, then they say, "Arey, Lord also did. What's wrong with us?" So what Lord did, that which is suitable to their sense gratification, they pass it on by the name of the Lord. Okay, Lord played rasa dance with gopis, but before that, he has killed Kalia, who is poisonous snake. And if you put this person in front of one cobra also, he cannot survive. And Krishna lifted Govardhan hill for 7 days, 7 nights on the smallest finger of weakest hand, that is left hand. So these people who want to do rasa dance, they should lift at least a table for 7 hours or 70 minutes. Not that possible, at least 7 minutes they can lift. So they want to imitate Lord partially, and that time they want to call him as he's a human, he's ordinary human. But when Lord does extraordinary things, then they don't want to take that seriously. So this way, those who don't want to believe in God, even if God comes in front of them and tells that I am God, they will not believe. Like Duryodhana. In front of him, Krishna manifested Virat Rup. Still, Duryodhana could not understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and to obey his instruction. Rather, he told the guards to put Lord in jail. So that is unfortunate situation of the non-devotees. They will not accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they will call him as an ordinary human being. So the devotees, they appreciate Krishna's form, they surrender to him, and they offer their homages to him. They become his servants. But on the other hand, this, Manushin Tanumashrita, so these people whose intelligence has taken away, and they are foolish people, they will not accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is a misfortune. So many scientists, one of the scientists was Neste. He said, God is dead, Neste. And after many years, he was dead. He himself was dead. So we people don't know about ourselves and we want to comment on Supreme Lord. It is how foolish it is, So if materialistic way, Lord is always bewildering. Lord will allow, then only we can understand him. If Lord doesn't allow, then we cannot understand him by any means. So it's Krishna's mercy only, through his mercy only we can understand him completely. So the devotees of the Lord, they have got Krishna's mercy, they have understood. So that understanding they want to give us. So the right way of understanding Krishna is through a spiritual line, not material line. So in Sampradaya, in Parampara, the acharyas who come and reveal the nature of Supreme Lord, That is the right information which we are getting, and we should accept it with faith, you know. And amazingly, what knowledge they are giving, it's never changing. It is as it is, from so many years. But material science knowledge is always updating, you know. The one generation has died with particular understanding, but second generation they discover something more, and they understand that, you know, what the first generation understood, it was incomplete. So that way material understanding is always going to be changing and incomplete, but spiritual understanding, it never changes and it's a complete. So when we take shelter of spiritual science under the spiritual master, then we can understand Krishna completely. But we want to understand God through material science, then it is not possible. And that's why when things become impossible, then they say Krishna is an ordinary man. Because if you say Krishna is supreme, then they have to follow Gita. Because if you accept God as supreme, then you have to follow his laws. But if you don't want to follow the Lord, you deny the God's position only. So though the one who is atheist, who wants to enjoy material world without any restriction, he says God doesn't exist. Because if God exists, if he believes in God, then he has to obey the words of God. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranita. So dharma is what is God has spoken. So they have to follow the dharma, which they don't want. So if they don't want to follow dharma, then easiest way to say that God is dead or God is human being or God doesn't exist, like that, you know, they will say. Moghashamo karmano mogadnyana vichitasa rakshasim asurim cheva prakritim mohinishrita. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruity activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Chaitanya Prabhu, are you comfortable? Will you able to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Purported by His Divine Grace Abhishek in the Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tested. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive, pious activities and who are Prabhuji, just who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheist, as described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entities and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and Prabhuji, can you go down? Such atheistic and demonic cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature like the Vedanta Sutra and Upanishad is always baffled. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brahma Vishnu Smruti clearly states, Yoveti Bhotikam Deham Krishnasya Paramatmanah Sa Sarvasmad Bahishkar Karyah Shrota Smartha Vidanatah Mukaham Tasya Lokayapi So Chelam Snam Acharet. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demonic life. Perpetually their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Surrender unto me.
So Krishna cannot be understood by the people who are envious to him or those who are atheist. By whatever they do, they cannot understand Krishna. Krishna is like a sun. He's so visible. But somebody is put his mouth, he puts his head inside the earth. Then what? Where he can find sun? He cannot see the sun. So like that, there are so clear evidences are there in the scriptures. But these people, due to their blind attitude, they don't want to accept scriptures, they don't want to hear devotees, and they want to just conclude that God doesn't exist. So they are set free to do whatever they want to do. But amazingly, they are baffled and they are not satisfied. Even though they have freedom, so-called freedom to enjoy, which they are not able to enjoy. So this material freedom is not a freedom at all. Because if anybody doesn't obey the God's laws, then he cannot get the satisfaction. So materialistic people have so much wealth, unrestricted, they are living life. But amazingly, nobody is happy. On the other hand, devotees, they live life under the restrictions of the spiritual injunctions, and they perform devotional service. Although they have nothing material with them, they all will be happy. So if we are not happy, that means we are in material consciousness. And our heart is that of atheist. So when we become submissive to Krishna's instruction, which are coming through parampara, and when we live life according to the laws given by Supreme Lord, then in this life we'll be happy, and after this life also we'll be happy. And the people who don't follow the Lord's instructions, neither they will be happy in this life nor in future lives. So that is a difference between devotees and non-devotees. So here now devotees glories Krishna is telling. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim ashrita bhajantananya manaso natva bhutadim avyam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Mahagovind, Mahavangovind, can you please say?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm audible?
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, I'm also there, 27.
Okay. My daughter will be reading. Come here.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Sarveshwari Mataji, you can read
Yeah, after.
after. Yeah. No, thank you. Sorry.
In this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. This is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginally potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Bhakti, Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul, Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features, such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of the Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, not are they concerned with any form of demigod or of a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Lord. Hare Krishna.
In Kali Yuga, these all terms are used very, without any weightage. People use all these terms like Mahatma or Jayanti or Punyatithi or whatever, Sargavasi, Kailasvasi, Vaikunthavasi or whatever. The person may be eating whole life meat or he is killing, cheating so many people, but still people write in front of him as Sargavasi. So just by giving titles, people cannot get these qualities. One has to live life under the rules and regulations which are given by Supreme Lord. So here Lord is telling who is Mahatma. Lord is telling Mahatma is one who has taken shelter of me. And who has not taken shelter of Krishna, he is called Duratma. Or he is called Mudha. Moghasha. He has very cripple-minded person. But devotees of the Lord, they are very broad-minded and they have full faith in God and they surrender to Him. And such as surrendered souls are under His internal potency. Like we see, army person cannot be punished by state government. State government cannot punish the army person. Why they cannot punish him?
Because he is not under the state jurisdiction.
Because he is under central government.
Yes.
Okay. And they have their own different court. So like that, Krishna's devotees are under directly Krishna's control. They cannot be controlled by external energy. Maya cannot control them. They all become Krishna's internal associates. So they will not be punished by the Lord. Like, when we go on toll, on highway, there is a toll. But beside the highway, there are big green boards are there. And on that board, what is written? Yes. Hare Krishna. What is written on the green boards? Near toll.
The amount you have to pay.
The
Pass.
list of people are mentioned there.
Oh,
They're-
yes. They can be exempted, yeah.
So for ordinary person, he has to pay the toll. But those who are under the government, they don't have to pay. Their toll is forgiven. Like president, prime minister, or all that. Any MLA, whatever, MP, what. So in ordinary kingdom, these people don't have to pay toll. Those who are surrendered to government, those who are government representatives. The same way, the material world, which is taking toll from everybody, but devotees are not at all charged. They are exempted. Nunam, Pitrunam, these whatever we have runas, that is at once is exempted when one takes the shelter of Krishna. I will try to search that once if I get. So this is verse. Devarshi bhutatmanunam pitrunam nakinkarunayam runicha rajan sarvatmanaya sharanyam gato mukundam parivrittikartam. Translation, someone give me.
Say Vishwamataji, please.
Okay. One who has given up all material duties and has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda. He who offers shelter to all is not indebted to the demigods, great sages, ordinary living beings, relatives, friends, mankind, or even one's forefathers who have passed away. Since all such classes of living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and Supreme Lord, one who has surrendered to the Lord's service has no need to serve such persons separately.
Okay, so the one who has taken shelter of Gato Mukundam Parvrittikartam. The one who has taken Sharanam. Somebody has taken shelter of Lord, then he is not bound by anything. So they are called as a Mahatmas. The devotees who have taken shelter of Krishna, they are Mahatmas, and they are, they are directly under divine nature. They are protected under Lord's divine nature. So these are the devotees who are called as Mahatmas. And what they do? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dudavrata namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with the devotion.
So Vishwamataji, Adhika Mataji, you can read this one, and Gita Mataji, you can read the next.
The Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, He is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord, praising His holy name, His eternal form, His transcendental qualities, and His uncommon pastime. One has to glorify all these things, therefore, a Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is attached to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, the Brahm Jyoti, is not described as Mahatma in the Bhagavad Gita. He is described in a different way in the next verse. The Mahatma is always engaged in different activities of devotional service as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and chanting about Vishnu, not a demigod or human being. That is devotion. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu and Smaranam, remembering him. Such a Mahatma has firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord in any one of the five transcendental rasas. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily, and vocal, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is called full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadasi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service guided by an expert spiritual master and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, in any position and anywhere in the world. He can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul.
So, Mahatma is not self-declaration or declaration by some foolish people. So, Mahatma, the definition is given here by Krishna. He says, one who is always chanting his names, always broadcasting his names, always giving Krishna to others, and he is practicing devotional life till his last breath with determination. That person is Mahatma. You know? So we should understand whom to call Mahatma. And if some people call us Mahatma, Prabhu, you are Mahatma, that is all not seriously we should take. And we should think that I am no Mahatma. The activities show that person is Mahatma or Durat. So just having titles, one cannot become Mahatma. One has to live life with the dignity and graveness. Then only one can become Mahatma. So like, in IIT campus, students also go and a donkey also goes. And students after 4 years, they become graduated. But donkey has gone in the IIT campus, he is eating grass for 4 or 5 years and he comes out. Will we call him that donkey as a IIT pass out? No. Because he went and he didn't took any he didn't study that seriously, nothing. He just ate and went and ate grass, So same way, if people are admitted in such a spiritual institute where they can become pure devotees, if people don't take it seriously, just we spend time casually, then even one lifetime or many lifetimes we spend will have little benefit, But Krishna wants, if somebody calls him as his devotee, he should do Satatam Kirtiyantu Ma. He should always remember him, and he should live life with determination to surrender to him. So that is what Krishna is expecting from his devotees, and his devotees are like that. They are not forced to remember Krishna; they naturally remember Krishna. So we are not that kind of natural remembering devotees. So at least we should force ourselves to remember Krishna, to force ourselves to practice devotional service. So like that, by this forcing, one day it will become natural for us. By regularly forcing ourselves with the instructions of scriptures, spiritual masters, one day it will become natural for us. So then only one can become Mahatma. Otherwise, just writing Mahatma will not be sufficient. So this practice has to be performed very genuinely, seriously. Now, Lord will describe about other category. Jnana yajnena chapanye yajanto mahupasate ekatvena pruthaktvena bhavda vishwato mukham. Others who engage in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as a diverse in many and in the universal form. Yes.
This verse is the summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and don't know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three. Number one, he who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. Two, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worship that. And three, he who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Can you please scroll down the worships that. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to the monist, are also predominant. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality, they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body but are actually spiritual soul. At least such a sense is predominant. Generally the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class includes the worshippers of the demigods, those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord. And the third class includes those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism of entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord.
So apart from Lord, Mahatmas, there are different kind of people who are spiritualists. They are called as Ekatvena, Pruthaktvena, and Vishwato Mukham. These are the three categories of people who are spiritualists. So devotees are spiritualists, and these people are also spiritualists. Basically, spiritualist means those who are not in bodily consciousness, those who don't think that they are matter, and the world is also made of matter. So those who spiritualists who understand I am soul, so in that the devotees are very great. They understand I am part and parcel of Supreme Lord, and my service is to serve that Supreme Personality of Godhead. They all are called as a Mahatmas. And other spiritualists have three categories. The first category is Ekatvena, those who think themselves as a supreme. These are the lowest among these categories, spiritualists, Ekatvena. And Truthatvena, they think that demigods are supreme. They don't think themselves as supreme, but they think demigods are supreme, which Krishna mentioned in next 20 to 25 verse. And the third category is Vishwatomukha, those who accept Krishna's Virat Roop as a supreme. So these are better than Ekatvena and Pruthitvena. The impersonalists and the demigod worshippers, better than them is this Vishwatomukha people, devotees. So this way Lord is putting this category also in their spiritualist. He is putting them also in the category of spiritualist. Now text 15. Text 16. Aham karturaham yajna swadaham avaushadam mantroaham aham evajam aham agniraham hutam. But it is I who am I the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
I'll read. Puppet. The Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotistoma is also Krishna, and he is also Mahayagya, mentioned in the Smriti. The oblations offered to the Pitrulok or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitrulok, considered as a kind of a drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna, and many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifice are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the five material elements and is therefore claimed as separate energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or in other words, those music, can you scroll down? In other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas.
So here, text number 16 to 19. How we can understand Krishna as a universal form? That has been explained. So in Vedic sacrifices of Karmakanda section, they do so many things for sacrifices, like rituals, Jyotishtam, Vedic sacrifice, or they do sacrifice of Smriti, and they offer oblations to Pitrus, and they have fire for doing these abhisheks, these sacrifices. So this all are the components of sacrifice. Only important terms are clarified here. So Lord is telling that he is also manifesting himself in this section as a Vedic sacrifices. So that way the Lord is available in the form of these sacrifices in Karmakanda section. Now Krishna will tell in next verse, Krishna is as all the relationships. पितामहस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामह वेदं पवित्रम ओंकार रुकसामय यजुरेव यजुरेवच. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the symbol, the syllable Om. I am also the Ruk, the Sam, and the Yajurvedas.
Isha Mataji, yeah. Yeah, Ashwini
I read
Mataji.
or Isha Mataji's reading.
Go ahead, Mataji. Ashwini Mataji, please.
The entire cosmic manifestations, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are part and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcel of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, and the grandfather, etc., are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas, therefore, aim only towards Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step towards understanding Krishna. That subject matter, which helps us purify our constitutional position, is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. And because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rik, and Atharva, the Pranava or the Omkara is very prominent. It is understood to be Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So now these verses from 16 to 19, Vishwarup Upasana is getting explained. So in last verse, Krishna explained that how in Yajna, all the things involved, they also his expansions only. He is the only one who is the essence of all that sacrifices. And now Lord is telling in this universe, whatever relationships we make as a father, mother, or whatever we make relationships, the conclusion of that all relationships should be directed towards him. We should consider him as a mother, we should consider him as a father, we should consider him as a Omkar, the Vedic pronunciation mantra, and he is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. So this way we should understand he is all pervading and ultimate shelter and cause of all causes. So next verse, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sashi Nivasa Sharanam Surut Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyam. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refugee, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and annihilation, the basics of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed.
Hare Krishna, Vijay, shall I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Gati means the destination where we want to go, but the ultimate goal is Krishna. Although people do not know it, one who does not know Krishna is misled, and its so called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. There are many who make as their destination different demigods, and by rigid performance of the strict respective methods, they reach different planets known as Chandralok, Suryalok, Indralok, Maharlok, etc. But all such lokas or planets, being creation of Krishna, are simultaneously Krishna and and not Krishna. Such planets, being manifestations of Krishna's energy, are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as a step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna directly. One should directly approach Krishna. For that will save time and energy. For example, if there is a possibility of going to the top of a building by the help of an elevator, why should one go by staircase step by step? Everything is resting in Krishna's energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Krishna is the supreme ruler because everything belongs to him and everything exists on his energy. Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, is the supreme witness. The residences, countries, or planets on which we will live are also Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter, and therefore one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection or for annihilation of his distress. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is the supreme living energy. And since Krishna is the source of our generation or the supreme father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be a better well-wisher. Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
So this is indirect worship to Krishna. So better devotees, what they do, they directly worship the Supreme Lord. So that's why they are more better situated than the Vishwatomukham, the people who worship the universal form. Better than that, the devotees who directly understand who is Krishna and surrender to him and perform devotional service. They are better situated than this universal form worshippers. Further again, Krishna is describing that how he is cause of other causes also. Tapamiham aham varsham nirgunnam utsrujamicha amrutam chaiva mrityum cha sat satcha aham Arjuna. O Arjuna, I gave heat, I am withhold the send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
Amitra, you're reading? Yeah, good. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Amitra.
Prabhuji, he's just trying to connect
Okay.
with his headphone. Just a minute, Prabhuji.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Krishna, by his different energies, diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. During summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky, and then during the rainy season, he gives unceasing torrents of rain. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna, and Krishna meets us at the end as death. By analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna, there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or, in other words, he is both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinction. He sees only Krishna in everything.
Okay, so this is a conclusion that Krishna is all pervading, ultimate shelter, and cause of all causes. So what happened exactly in 15th verse? After describing Mahatmas, Lord described there are other category of devotees. The first is Ekatvena, the impersonalists who think themselves as a god. Then Pruthatvena, that is demigod worshippers. And third is Vishwatamukha, the worshippers of universal form. So from now, 16 to 16, 17, 18, 19. He described about the characteristics of the Vishwanamukham spiritualists. And now 20 onwards, 20 to 25, Krishna will describe the demigod worshippers. Okay. This is 22 to 25, he will describe Pruthaktvena. These devotees he will describe. That we'll see on next Saturday. Okay. Thank you. I will put in WhatsApp all those creation documents. Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Prabhuji,
Srila
Prabhuji,
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Next Saturday we have Govardhan Puja, 11th of October
Okay.
at
Then we'll have
NVCC.
Sunday.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sunday we'll have.
All right, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I haven't made the OBA.
Geeta Mataji, I can share you the link. You can, if you have completed it, you can upload there.
Okay.
There is some 4th of October was the deadline, but you can still upload. They have some rules, but yeah, you can still upload.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Thank you.
Pranam.
Hare.